Hello everyone, welcome back to Trek A Day. I have a very special video. Today we're going to look at what I think is the craziest Star Trek haul ever. It's just amazing. And these are all things you're going to see again individually in the coming weeks. There's a lot to go through. We're just going to go through the instant collection here. Really cool, unique stuff that I actually bought off of mostly just paid shipping off of someone who's not a regular viewer of the channel, but happened to see the video that I did where I had some Star Trek bonus discs from Bill, and he contacted me, and after a few weeks, whatever, made a deal, and a massive, amazing Star Trek collection. If you watched my video before, you saw this issue number 134 of the Star Trek Best Episode Collection, which was a magazine in Japan, and it came with a DVD like this number 1 here that had some best of episodes of Star Trek included with, these were then talked about in the contents of the magazine. And he did not have any of the magazines at all. No idea what happened to them, but had a ton of the DVDs left over. And because they're Japanese and you need another player, even though they do have all the English audio options as well, they're hard to get rid of. So I got all the ones that he had, and I have more of these than I ever thought I was going to have in my entire life. Because I was like, yeah, having 1 or 2 of these would be awesome for the collection. And I just added 75. I can't believe it. So yes, these were all, we're going to go through these, and then there's one other really cool thing as well. But these are just amazing. As a Star Trek fan, I love these kind of best of collections, different, being able to sit and watch episodes, and a lot of times they're tied by theme. This one has Best of Both Worlds, parts 1 and 2, and then Dragon's Teeth from Voyager. So we're going to go through each one of these, and I'll talk about these more individually in detail, their own individual videos in the future. But yeah, sit tight if you like this kind of stuff. You're in for a treat, because I think these are amazing. I think this is an incredible collection. I'm super happy to give a good home. So we have Volume 1, again with the Best of Both Worlds and Dragon's Teeth, some TNG and Voyager. Then Volume 2, we have Captain's Holiday, Second Sight, and Resolutions. So 1 TNG, 1 DS9, 1 Voyager. Volume 3, Crossover and Year of Hell, parts 1 and 2. Datalore, Dax, and Meld in Volume 4. Volume 5, we have Heart of Glory, and then the 2-parter, The Way of the Warrior. That's a great Klingon double feature. And then Volume 6, we have Q-Who, Sanctuary, and Blink of an Eye. Volume 7, we have A Matter of Honor, Duet, and Initiations. Volume 8, we have The Big Goodbye, Take Me Out to the Holosuite, and Worst Case Scenario. And Volume 9, we have A Man Alone, The Nagus, and The Raven. And then Volume 10, we have Deja Q, Q-less, and The Q and the Gray. Volume 11, Galaxy's Child, Whispers, and Day of Honor. Volume 12, we have The Defector, In the Pale Moonlight, and Eye of the Needle. 3 incredible episodes, a great representation, one from each of the 90s era series with TNG and DS9 and Voyager, and some great Romulan connection through all of them. Actually, these are just an incredible set. This is going to be one of my favorites to watch as a 3-episode marathon. Then we have 13, Remember Me, Distant Voices, and Message in a Bottle. 14, Progress, Jetrel, and Logium. 16, The Emissary, Soldiers of the Empire. and Faces. 16, Time Zero, Parts 1 and 2, and Trials and Tribulations, my favorite episode of all time, and I think one of the more underrated two-parters in Star Trek. I don't know why Time Zero doesn't seem to be as popular as, the enjoyment level I find from it. And then 17, we have Family, Explorers, and Macrocosm. Explorers, one of my personal favorite episodes in all of Star Trek. Then we have Haven, the Dauphin, and the Chute. The Icarus Factor, Second Skin, and Tattoo in Volume 19. I love this cover, Species 8472, with the Valiant and Scorpion, Parts 1 and 2. '21, The Measure of a Man, Facets, and Tuvix. 22, Necessary Evil, Rules of Acquisition, and Infinite Regress. Home Soil, If Wishes Were Horses, and Drone. The Host, Hippocratic Oath, and Latent Image. '25, we have The Visitor, Investigations, and Cold Fire. 26, Yesterday's Enterprise, Through the Looking Glass, and Non Sequitur. 27, we have Darmok, Rapture, and Coda. 28, The Enemy, Captive Pursuit, and Threshold. 'Cool Delta Flyer cover here for Sins of the Father, Change of Heart, and Extreme Risk. Some really good Worf and B'Elanna focused episodes. 30, I love this cover. That's really, really cool. The Captain Proton stuff. We have Hollow Pursuits, It's Only a Paper Moon, and Bride of Chaotica. This is some holodeck theming. Cause and Effect, and Future's End, Parts 1 and 2. Future's End, Parts 1 and 2 are just like a random fact, were the first episodes of Star Trek that I ever saw in German when I would visit my grandparents. Voyager was airing, and those were the first two I randomly caught in a different language. Just a memory that's stuck with me. Then we have The Outcast, Indiscretion, and Unity in Volume 32. 33, we have The Child, Final Mission, and Favorite Son. 34, Broken Link, The House of Quark, and Someone to Watch Over Me. 35, we have Who Watches the Watchers, The Jem'Hadar, and Friendship 1. 36, The Offspring, Rejoined, and Flashback. 37, Future Imperfect, Parallels, and Shattered Mirror. 38, Suspicions, R-Man, Bashir, and Tinker, Tenor, Doctor, Spy. 39, The Muse, Fair Trade, and Before and After. 40, we have The Inner Light, For the Uniform, and Hope and Fear. 41, The Battle, Defiant, and Starship Down. 42, a very familiar image of Worf. This particular picture has been used a bunch of times for different marketing things, and it's a cover for the Worf Return to Grace collection. This image of Worf, for some reason, is very commonly reused. We have Reunion, Barge of the Dead, and Lineage. '43, Past Tense, Parts 1 and 2, and Shattered. Past Tense Parts 1 and 2 is going to get a lot of coverage, I'm sure, this year from most Star Trek channels. Fistful of Datas, Bada Bing, Bada Bang, and Author, number 44. And we get our first TOS entry in Volume 45, A Night in Sickbay, The Enemy Within, and The Corbomite Maneuver. So from this point on, we get the occasional TOS entry as well, with Bloodlines, Waltz, and Counterpoint in Volume 46. 47, Journey to Babel, Ensign Rowe, and Cost of Living. 48, Second Chances, The Darkness and the Light, and Distant Origin. 49, we get our Enterprise entry with Amir Darkly, Parts 1 and 2, and then Tholian Web. This is a perfect one to have together with Tholian Web, obviously, with the connection, although I would have put, Tholian Web first to watch, but anyway, that's amazing to have the Tholian Web included with those two. It works perfectly as a triple feature. 50, we have Body Parts, The Begotten, and Survival Instinct. 51, Dawn, Wolf in the Fold, and Quell. 52, Silent Enemy, The Deadly Years, and Visionary. 53, the nice T'Pol cover. We have Stigma, The Galileo 7, and Amok Times, real TOS classics in this volume. 54, Attached, The Quickening, and Lifeline. 'We have Hoshi gracing the cover of volume 55 with Fight or Flight, Brothers, and Prodigal Daughter. And we have Detained, Naked Time, and Alice in number 56. I always thought that was cool, interesting ship design. I like Alice as an episode. 57, we have Dear Doctor, The Breach, and The Man Trap. 58, it's a real good set here. We have Starship Mine, Far Beyond the Stars, and Night. Night's a really good B'Elanna episode. And for 59, we have Vanishing Point, The Changeling, and Gravity. It's going to be interesting, just in mentioning with the TOS, to start watching these, because someone had commented before in the video for this one that they thought the TOS episodes in this collection were from the Japanese Laserdisc transfers. That would be kind of interesting to see whether or not that's the case, and yeah, definitely we'll be curious with any of these to compare these to individual or season DVD releases and see what they're like. And watching all these, Nor the Battle to the Strong, The Gift, and Mortal Coil in volume 60. These are just going to be such a blast to go through as triple features. I mean, that's great too, is I like to watch, sometimes I like to just stick with one Star Trek show and just keep watching a bunch of episodes or watch through, but most of the time I like to kind of mix it up if I'm just kind of casually watching, and this is a great way of doing that. You get cool little collections. We have Minefield, Balance of Terror, and the Enterprise Incident. Get a variety of different Trek shows in your viewing. Sarek, Rascals, and Dark Page. Oh boy, that's a weird setup. Most of these I think are really good. These are kind of bizarre. But yeah, one of my favorite episodes of TNG and my least favorite episode of TNG. But that's just kind of an odd grouping, that one, in my opinion. And then in 63 we have the Pegasus, Ties of Blood and Water, and Natural Law. 64, Cogenitor, Data's Day, and Repression. 65, Ceasefire, Judgment, and The City on the Edge of Forever. Probably the episode of Star Trek I have the most copies of, because it is in so many different best of collections and just everything. It's always included. 66, we have First Duty, Man of the People, and The Disease. One of the few standout Harry Kim episodes is just, there's a couple throughout Voyager, but most of the time it's just kind of Tom's friend on the sideline, but he had a couple moments. 67, we have Shuttle Pod 1, definitely a fan favorite, and By Any Other Name, as well as Field of Fire, one that is, for some reason, not a fan favorite, but I absolutely love, from DS9's 7th season. 68, Things Past, The Magnificent Ferengi, like one of the funniest episodes ever, and Imperfection. Cool Gorn cover. On volume 69, we have Observer Effect, Arena, and The Devil in the Dark. The final little grouping here, we have 71, In the Cards, Fury, and Homestead. 72, Identity Crisis. I've always loved that creature design, thought that was really cool. Tribunal, and 30 Days. 73, I love my Mirror Universe stuff, so that's really cool. With Mirror Mirror, and then we have Home and Impulse. Enterprise. 70, Scotty cover. We have Similitude, Relics, and Interface. 74, Horizon, Shore Leave, and Drive. And the last volume from these had 1 through 75, which is extra cool, even just, any random 75, but having 1 through 75, that's really awesome. The Lost, The Game, and Timeless. So, holy cow, I can't believe I always assumed I might have like maybe 3 or 4 of those. Yeah, now I have close to 80. Just brilliant. These are fantastic. And again, you're going to see these again as I'll pull them out over many, many months individually and talk a little bit more about the episodes, or after I've seen them, maybe the transfers, things like that. Now on to the other thing. There was one other set. I think this is one of the coolest things in our entire Star Trek collection. I am over the moon excited with how pretty this box is for this Deep Space Nine complete series set. Deep Space Nine is not only my favorite Star Trek, but my favorite show of all time, so always happy to add a different variant of the different sets for Deep Space Nine. We have this really pretty box, and it is hefty. It's a metal handle, and it's really nice and hardy, and it's in perfect shape, and it's all just kind of this glitter effect around most of it. And then the front here, it's kind of lenticular. It shows up a little bit on camera, not like a lot of movement, but really cool with DS9 and the wormhole and the Defiant. It's a beautiful box, and pretty hefty. And then this little part here keeps falling off. I'm gonna have to re-glue that. It's got a felt insignia on the top with this really nice DS9 feeling purpley cover, so I'll have to glue that. And then inside is a complete series set of Deep Space Nine in these collector's clamshells. I showed one of those before in another video. So really cool. So I'm going to take a deeper dive looking at this set in a video in the future just with this, but I wanted to just kind of show it a little bit here because I think it is absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful, really cool, and it's going to be one of those kind of great display pieces. So that, and I can't believe how many of these that he had, because these are awesome. And I just think there's such a cool idea, this best of collection, and getting a variety. We go and watch and you get multiple different Star Trek shows and just kind of stick the disc in, and really cool. I'm over the moon excited. This is the single greatest Star Trek haul I've ever had, and yeah, you'll see all this stuff again. This is going to be like months and months of content over the next probably year or two, going through all of these, and just really, really cool, really excited, and I can't believe it. If you like this kind of stuff, if you're a big Star Trek fan like me, and you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, trying to get over that 1,000 mark here. hopefully before the end of the year. If you're new, do Star Trek collection kind of stuff all the time, episode reviews, anything you can think of. I try to have as much variety as possible, and there's something Star Trek literally every day, whether it's a video, whether it's a discussion on the community page, and the videos are sometimes a short little look at in the future, like a single volume of this for maybe a 2-minute video, or sometimes it's part of a massive series looking at my top 100 episodes of Star Trek, all kinds of stuff. Something Star Trek every day, because I love this franchise. It's a huge part of my life. Thank you for joining me. I hope you come back, and I hope you like this video, and if you are interested in this kind of stuff, again, you will see it more in depth again.